Hey guys, how you guys doing? I'm live. So this is a cool rant I'm gonna do. I kind of like this rant. It's a rant where I'm gonna learn as much as I'm gonna teach you guys. I'm gonna learn myself because it's not a subject I'm a total expert at, but it's something I know enough to talk about, which means I'm probably gonna learn more than you. But let's just do this. And secondly, before I do that, I want to say thanks for watching my video, my instruction video. Though I am more, to me, I'm more of a player than a teacher. So there's kind of like a bargaining going on there. Because the day I think I can't play, I'm going to stop teaching. But yet, some of you guys may think of me more as a teacher. But if I don't see myself as a player first, I won't be teaching anything. So even if you like my teaching more, watch my lives when I'm actually playing, because that encourages me to keep playing, to teach. Because the day I stop thinking I'm a player, I'm going to stop guitar, and then that means I'll stop teaching it. So yin and yang going on there. I love that my teaching videos get so many views, but it's only because my playing videos get comparable views that I go on with them. You know, I'm not going to just be some nerd. If I do, I'll just stop. Take that. So anyway, this is a cool rant. I'm going to learn a lot from this. I'm probably going to make a lot of mistakes, but I'm going to learn, and that's the point of a lot of this rant. Okay, we've seen and I've shown that I believe that this world is a simulation, this whole universe. There's lots of reasons. There's experiments, and physicists have done theories and backed them up with experiments over and over again. It's only gotten tighter and tighter that we live in a simulation. But let's suppose that that's open for discussion, but let's assume that we at least admit that a simulation is possible, because we 100% live in one. But just in case that 100% is inaccurate and we got a 1 in a Google, which is 10 with 100 zeros after it, that I'm wrong about this and we are not a simulation, let's at least admit that we might be in a simulation and go from there. So if we're not in a simulation, then we're the first and realest and truest civilization in creation, and we are just the greatest thing. But we're about to make simulations ourselves. We're about to make AI things that are generated by us, made by us, that may think that they're actually living and actually think that they have free will, when really we created them to think that. So we are the masters of them. We created them, so the joke's on them. But by the same token, unless we are the only civilization that top of the line, that we're the one true civilization that's not a simulation, we're about to build a simulation. Okay, there's that. Now, if we're not the main civilization, the first one that's not a simulation, then we are a simulation. Now, the choice is, we might be the first simulation of the main civilization, or we might be a simulation of that simulation. It means we're the second generation simulation, or we could be up to any number of simulations. We might be the 10,042nd simulation, and we're about to build the 10,043rd simulation, or whatever, how many there are in between. Now, that model right there shows or says or seems to imply that the chances are we're just in the middle somewhere. It has to be, right? One problem with that thought, though, we haven't made a simulation yet. So we must be at the bottom of the list. We're the only simulation that hasn't made a simulation yet. So therefore, by logic, we're either at the top, which means we are not a simulation, or we're at the bottom, which means we are the last of the simulations. So no matter how many are in between, we have a 50-50 chance by logic of being a simulation or being the original society, the original civilization. We have a 50-50 chance of being a simulation or the original non-simulation civilization. which that 50-50 chance is as good as we're going to get, because actually we've shown by physics experiments and theories that we are a simulation. So usually we can comfortably rule out that we're the original civilization, because we've proven by science that we're not, that we are a civilization, that we are a simulation. So but we've shown by my logic that we're lucky enough to be the last one, the only one that hasn't made a simulation yet. However, we're about to lose that distinction, because we're about to make a simulation that will then think it's a simulation, and we will just join the rank of all the other simulators. That will actually be a downgrade for our importance, and an upgrade for the importance of the generation we generate, because that will be the new generation that hasn't generated a simulation yet themselves. So we're going to lose in priority and lose in importance by the very fact that we're making a simulation that will take over and be the most important thing, not us. Just like we're the most important thing, not the simulation before us. And that's, of course, well, yeah, that's how I see it. Yeah, because even if we're the simulation of the original civilization, we're still more important, because we haven't simulated yet. They have. We're still more, even though they're the original true simulators. In a way, we're more important because we haven't done that. So we're more special. We actually have a destiny to forge. The original civilization that simulated us doesn't. They've already made us. So no more work to do. They may be kings and gods, but they're bored. So there's that. Now, what about the simulation? We're building AI machines, the AGI, artificial general intelligence, and AI. What's the game here? Well, first of all, AIs already do most of the work on this planet. The technical work of Manning's telescopes, like the James Webb Telescope, is all done by AI. We don't have the time or the intelligence or the knowledge to do it, each individual by themselves. We make too many mistakes and take too many man hours, so we have AI do it. Uh-oh, sounds dangerous. AI is going to do more than we do. That makes anybody that can't do anything that an AI can't do irrelevant, such as most of the people. Who's not going to be irrelevant? Let me give an example. Suppose I make an AGI and say, okay, AGI, you're a guitar player, AGI? Yeah, I'm a guitar player. Okay, Willie Brown, guitar player. Play like Alan Holdsworth and don't miss. You got to be right here. He was the greatest ever. I want you to play just like Alan Holdsworth. AI does a few thinking things, thinks for about a year, LOL. Comes back and does a perfect job. Nails Alan Holdsworth, just what Alan would have done if he were here. That's good. But that means that anybody that can only do that is irrelevant, because the AI can do that. So even if I can play like Alan Holdsworth, I'm still obso-fucking-lete. But here is where, who, and how you cannot be obsolete. May not be obsolete. Okay, AGI guitar player. You played like Alan Holdsworth. Now play like no one's ever played. AGI gets lost, confused, stirred, angry, smashes his guitar, and walks off the stage like Jack Devilboy Butler at the end of Crossroads, which, by the way, he was badass the way he walked off stage. Didn't want to fuck with that dude at the time, LOL. Uh-oh. There's something that can be done by a human maybe that an AIGI can't do. Let's bring in Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy, Shirtless Guy. We heard an AGI can't play like no one else has ever played. He just folded, crumbled, crashed, and fumbled. Jimmy, play like no other guitarist has ever played. And I play, holy shit, you did it. You are relevant. To do something that AI can't do, which is do something that has not been done before. Be an original human in the fields that cannot be mastered by AI, absolutely, which is art, music, and so forth, but not like someone else that lived like no one else has ever done. You are now not irrelevant. You are relevant, and you will have a place in the new world with the AGIs. This is a story. I might qualify, may not, but I've got a better chance than a lot of people that probably don't worry about it. And paradoxically, I do worry about it. But actually, I'm very unique. So who knows? We'll see how that card plays, will we not? Anyway, and then there's an issue about rich people wanting to live forever, okay? Rich people want to live forever, but they're sucking on juice. They're putting people, they're running on energy of people that aren't going to live forever by living forever themselves. Everything costs something. So every time a person, a famous person, your Tom Cruises, your whoever's, Tom Hanks, great actors, great whoever, decide to live forever, that means a million of us won't, because that's what it took to make them live forever. But are they really the most productive people? To be productive, you have to be brash, willing to take chances, and willing to think differently. And usually old people like Tom Hanks and Tom Cruise do not have that. They're stagnant because they are 50, they're 90 or 70 or 60 years old. The energy they're taking from 30-year-olds that have more spunk is costly to us as a race. So by letting the Tom Hankses and the Tom Cruises die, but letting the 30-year-olds come back up in their stead like they should and would, we keep America, we keep the world vibrant. We keep the world changing. We keep the world relevant. If the old carry on in the place of the young, then the world stagnates and we become a dead planet. So no, Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks, die like everybody else. You don't get to live forever, and if I say so, but then again, who am I, right? LOL. There's that, and then there's what are you afraid of? Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, are you afraid of death? Well, the only reason to be afraid of death is if you think you haven't done your mission on Earth. You haven't used your time wisely. You haven't done what you're supposed to do. Otherwise, you can die with honor. That's why lazy people always want to be young again, and hard workers are willing to die. I hope I'm a hard worker that's willing to die when it's my time, because I'll know I've done my thing. As opposed to someone that just smoked pot, laid around, got fat, drank, hang out with the guys and watch football, will be regret dying because he didn't do what they're supposed to do. And that's most of the people, I have a feeling, but what do I know, right? Anyway, love you guys, peace, love, and rock and roll.